Hey, what's up, guys? We're back here with another podcast, 3D Music. It's your boy Austin, podcast director. I'm sitting here with the rest of the squad. We got Rob.
Hey.
We got Matthias.
What up?
And we got our main boy Ethan here.
What's good?
So I want to originally talk about where we left off with the last episode. Originally, what we're all working on here and what we're doing. So Rob, you said you're the head audio engineer.
Yes, sir.
What is that? What exactly is that exactly?
So pretty much what an audio engineer does is they manipulate and change and record any kind of audio pretty much that any consumer can listen to. So pretty much anything from things on the radio to things in video games to any audio experience is mixed by an audio engineer. So what that pretty much means is that whatever you're listening to, you can listen to every single element. You're not tripping over, oh, I can't hear the snare, I can't hear this kick or whatever. They make sure that everything you hear is clean, precise, or they might not want it to be clean, but they make sure that everything you're listening to sounds the best that it can for that project and that it sticks out so that it's an important element of the song. So if you take it out, the song will be completely different. So to wrap it up, I mean, an audio engineer records, edits, and mixes audio. So yeah, an audio engineer records, mixes, and changes any type of audio that a consumer listens to. Literally. That's
Nice.
all it is.
Nice.
That's all it is.
You working on anything cool? Any projects?
Yeah, projects right now. We got the whole 3D project, pretty much. We just wrapped up our podcast intro, actually. So yeah, that little thing you guys heard in the beginning, yeah, that was produced by your boy Rob and your boy Ethan. But yeah, I mean, we just pretty much got that. We got the 3D actual project. So we got 3 in the works right now, and then obviously we're always working on new music, always trying to get new ideas. But yeah, we have three main ideas right now that we're really working hard for. Our main song that we have, it's pretty much completely finished. The only thing we got to do is find a vocalist. So
We got a vocalist.
we do have we have a vocalist. But I mean, we just got to figure out the main melody. We got to get her in the studio to actually see what she's about, and then change it from there. You know, anything can happen really. So that's our main project.
Nice.
Yeah, basically we're trying to debut our main EP, I should say first, within the next year. We're really excited to finish the songs. We've got 3 or 4 main songs that we are 100% gonna finish. A couple vocalists in the works that we are going to go ahead and do some takes with. So there's no release date on it quite yet. However, we are going to get that just as soon as we're happy with it. It will be released. So that will be our first either EP or album. I don't think we've quite decided on that either.
Oh yeah. I mean, we could do anything really. But
there is music on the way.
Yeah, there is music on the way. Might have a couple singles at first, you know. We'll let you guys know on the podcast and on all of our social medias.
All right, so Rob, you said you're the head audio engineer. What exactly is that?
Yeah, so pretty much what an audio engineer does is records, mixes, and manipulates audio so a regular consumer can hear it pleasurably. That's pretty much what it is. Now, pleasurably can be defined by anything. It could be really distorted or really soft, but yeah, an audio engineer manipulates sound. So anything manipulates sound. So anything you hear on the radio, anything you hear in a video game, anything like that, that's all manipulated by an audio engineer. So
nice. So, what kind of projects you work on? You got any goodies cooking
Oh,
up?
oh yeah. We got some goodies. We got some good goods. Um, so, so we got 4 or 5 tracks that we are really, really excited to release soon. We got a few vocalists we're working with, and we're getting in the studio with them, and we are just absolutely destroying it. They're, they're great, and yeah, whenever these songs are finished, they should be finished definitely by the end of the year. So we will let you guys know on our podcast and on the social medias of the 3D Music Group. So yeah, those are the current projects we have. I just finished the track, the intro for this podcast. So whatever you heard before this, I hope you liked it.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
yeah,
Little
yeah,
teaser.
yeah. A little teaser. But yeah, I mean, those are the projects we're working on, man.
So I gotta ask you. I see you like making this stuff all the time, like on the computer and all that stuff.
Yeah.
How do you do that? Like, like how do you know what to do? Like,
Yeah. Yes.
it looks
yeah.
crazy.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. For sure. Yeah.
So many buttons.
Oh yeah. Oh.
So
yeah,
many
the buttons.
buttons.
The buttons. Yeah. 100% feel you. Yeah, the buttons. So I started producing music when I was 12, and I started using FL Studio, and I started making hip hop beats. I didn't do anything when I was a kid or whatever, so I somehow got on the internet and figured it out. And from there, I just began messing around, and then eventually I went to the school called EI, where I went to a youth program where they taught me how to make beats, and I used FL Studio for about 4 or 5 years, and then finally I decided to get Logic Pro X, which I'm currently using. That's my current program, and I also dabble in Pro Tools too. So I do have a Pro Tools certification. So hit me up.
Ooh,
Yeah. Official. Yeah, official. I'm actually
Dolby.
Dolby. Yes. Dolby's another thing. We'll get into that a little bit later. But yeah, Logic Pro X is the current program I'm producing music in. I compose in it. I mix in it. I mix all of the 3D tracks, podcast intros, everything to do with 3D audio goes through Logic Pro X pretty much, if it goes through me. And then I will use Pro Tools because we have to use Pro Tools to use Dolby Atmos programming so we can make 3D music. We'll get into that probably in a later episode
Yeah,
or
you're
so.
a nerd,
For
dude.
sure.
Yeah.
I bet nobody knew what you just said.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean I use Logic Pro X. That's how I make my music, and
Well,
that's
what is
what I
that,
write
dude?
in.
What is
Logic Pro X is a digital audio interface, and
That's the wrong question.
and pretty much like what you do in a digital audio interface is compose, mix, and manipulate audio. So it's literally a recording console and a multi-track in a computer. So that's literally what it is. It gets rid of a huge recording console and a huge tape machine or a little CD or tape multi-track. It gets rid of all that. It's just in the computer. So I do all my shit in the computer. So in Logic Pro X.
Tight.
Yeah, for sure.
So, what's the life like with 3D? What do you do?
Fuck. Well, I stay pretty busy. I know we talked a little bit last time, mentioned that I'm the founder, a DJ, composer, all that good stuff. But basically, I'll start my days with a little routine that I've made for myself. If you don't have one of those, I suggest you get one. But after I get through that, the dailies, go ahead and jam into it with maybe a little mix sesh, hour on the DJ decks, maybe read a little bit of some books. I definitely recommend that. But as far as doing the 3D stuff, basically it's a little bit of production, DJing, and then I stay pretty busy with the phone calls, interviews. I mean, I can tell you, like I mentioned last time, we got this clothing company, Not Designer. We do have some meetings with investors. I'll say that. It keeps me pretty busy just until we get this launched. That's been my main focus. We're really, really excited to bring that to you. But yeah, man, I between the DJing, composing, working on tracks, bouncing them over to my homie Rob, getting them really what they need, the sauce, the interviews, phone calls, all that, man, I stay busy. Don't you worry.
Nice. So Rob,
What's up?
what's good with the sauce with 3D life?
The 3D life. Yeah, so the 3D life pretty much consists of me working on music every day after I get home from school. I'm a full-time student at a local recording institute, and yeah, whenever I get home from that, I pretty much work on music, or if I'm not working on music, then I'm learning about music, and I'm usually working on my own tracks or 3D tracks, whether that be the new intro you guys heard or some of the new tracks that we have upcoming. We have about 4 or 5 tracks that we're so excited to show you guys. They should be ready definitely before 2019. So we will have the information ready for you. And yeah, what?
It's only 2 months, man. You trying to put out 5 songs in 2 months? Let's go, dude. That's the first I heard.
Yeah.
Okay. The first I heard over here in the Ethan seat. That was the first I heard. Let it ride, dude.
Ethan's over here wetting himself.
Let it go. Tell me more.
Yeah, what are you working on, man?
I mean, yeah. Like I said, we're working on. We just kind of finished up the intro for this podcast. We have about 4 or 5 tracks that we're working on, and that should be released definitely by 2019. We're so excited to show you guys, and
So excited.
so fucking excited to show you guys. And yeah, I mean, those are the projects we're working on. We're working with vocalists, and we're super excited to show you guys the full product. And yeah, I mean, stay
Tight.
tuned, guys. Stay
Tight.
tuned.
So Matthias, as a creative director and also the photographer and videographer of 3D and Not Designer, take us through a day of the life. What do you do?
Well, I work for both of those companies, which are actually the same people.
It's us.
It's
Surprise!
us. It's us.
Gang, gang.
It's a 3D podcast.
Surprise.
Being the creative director for them, I pretty much work on projects. Just direct them. All the content that you're gonna see on the Instagram, the Twitter, Facebook, all of social medias, even this one. I pretty much make it happen to put it on your screen. I put it on.
Media man.
I'm the media man.
Media man.
Yeah. With that, I lead it creatively. So if within that content, what I'm gonna be creating for you. Right now, I'm working on the Not Designer giveaway video, number 2, and I'm gonna bring it to all of your social medias. Shout out to 3D and Not Designer on social media. I'm also working on some St. Louis frat party videos. I recently got in with some frat kids. So.
Yo, what college, dude?
Yeah.
Is it-
UMSL.
Yeah. Okay,
UMSL,
UMSL.
UMSL,
That's
okay,
okay.
That's the acronym
I
on
feel
that.
you. Shout out.
University Missouri St. Louis.
I think so.
That
yeah,
sounds right.
Yeah, something like that.
I'm just gonna say that.
Okay, for sure. Yeah, so our main guy, Swan, the visuals guy, he's not with us here tonight. Ethan, how did we all come together here?
Well, it's been a journey, you know. It hasn't been overnight, and we're still not nearly to anything where we're gonna consider ourselves accomplished. But basically, it all started in about January legally, but realistically, the idea and the collection of effort from the people here began about 1.5 years ago. It really started with me being at UCM, which after I graduated high school, I didn't really know what I wanted to do, so I just went to a 4-year, which just, some bogus entrepreneurship major, just because I figured okay, well, I'm not going to sit at home and be a bum. So I went to a 4-year, and I went for a semester, and I fucking hated it, like, out of the gate, man. My earliest class was at noon, and I could still barely get my ass out of bed. Like, it was that fucking bad, and, like, that is no joke. Like, I hated my classes so much. And, like, seriously, like, I would go, and I shouldn't, but I will say, like, I would, before, like, fucking 10 minutes before my class, I'd be sitting in my car fucking toasting a bowl or whatever. Dude, you'd like, oh no, like shit,
yeah.
it's 11:49. I gotta walk like a mile and a half. If I leave right now, I'll get there in like 30, right? It's like, we'll get there right before it starts, right? No, but anyways, like, that's not the point. Like, I hated it, man. So, what I came to the realization after a semester was like, the only time I was really happy was when I was like listening to music, chilling, smoking, whatever, with talking about just kind of like some off the wall music, like, and that's all it was at first, was just the music. And there might have been some other catalysts, some other substances out there that might have perked my interest a little bit with the tunes. I might have had some experiences that really touched me, but nonetheless, I digress. It was just really, it came to the point where I realized that that's just like not where I needed to be, physically, spiritually, just all around. It was not a good environment. So basically, after one semester, I packed all my shit in my car and just drove home. Like, I fucking skipped. On God, I skipped finals. Like, because I knew I wasn't, like, I was like, I'm not going back.
Know that.
And like, no, straight up, like, so like, I skipped my fucking finals, right?
What year were you?
I was first semester freshman. I finished my first semester, and that was it. And I didn't finish my first semester, so that's like, yeah, okay. So I skipped my finals. Like, there was finals week. That was the last week, and like, prior to that, there was some like incidents. I'll just say, like, where like friendships were tested, and it was just not like the stuff I was in. I was more involved in like stuff outside of class than I was inside of class. Clearly, how I mentioned, it was not really my place, but none of that really matters. Because point being is, like, I knew that I was not going to go back there and finish. So, like, because of personal events that do not matter, like, I just found myself in a place of like agony that, like, the school was already hell. But then with like that leading up, I just like was not in a good place. So basically, I knew, like, okay, I'm not coming back to school, and I'm not doing 4 years here. So it's like, I packed all my shit in my car and I drove home. And I thought that my parents were gonna like freak out and probably like disown me, because like that's pretty much like, I mean, both my siblings, like, I only have a brother and a sister, and they both got full rides to college. So that's what I'm up against, and I'm the youngest, right? So it's like, that's the picture, is like, okay, I'm coming home and I'm like dropping out of college, and like my brother, like my sister's already graduated. She's a fucking nurse, right? Like pre-med, like RN, registered nurse in St. Louis. But nonetheless, like, my brother's a missionary, right? So it's like, I'm coming home dropout, like, fuck. Like, I shit the bed, dude. Like, and I thought, so I'm like, dude, they're gonna be so pissed. Like, oh, what am I gonna come home and tell them, like, oh, I want to do like music, or like, and that's what was the answer, was I wanted to do music. I didn't really know what I wanted to do with it, but like, I knew that was where my heart was, and that was like what made me happy. And so about the time like that I was like making the decision, I said it was like some personal shit, but like, anyways, around the time that shit happened, like, I had one homie that like lived back in like St. Louis, Missouri area, and he mentioned to me that like there was a school in St. Louis, and because I said I wanted to do something with music, and he was like, yo, there's a school, EI, Extreme Institute. At the time, it was by Nelly, but now it's not. But anyway, anyways, that's just, if you're from here, you might get that. But anyways, like, he told me, he's like, yo, there's this school in St. Louis. It's like an audio engineering school, dude. Like, you should go. You should check it out. Like, fucking the tour, the visit's free. Like, you could set it up, and like the timing was perfect, right? It was like serendipitous as fuck. So it's like, I'm talking to him, like, I hate fucking school, like, all my homies there cross me, like, straight snakes. That's what the personal shit was. It was just all bad. So it's like, I'm coming home, I pack all my shit in my car, yeah, tell my parents, like, get home, like, fucking cry my eyes out like a little bitch to my parents, like, oh, fucking first semester college, no good, I hate it, I want to go to music school. And like, I think they're just gonna come down on me. So they're actually super supportive, and so like, it was actually tight. So I ended up setting up that free tour that my buddy Rob Santel, our lead audio engineer, he actually was the one that told me about the school in St. Louis. But I set up a free visit, and I went and checked them out. And at the time, I mean, now it's kind of like, it's changed. They've lost a lot of their staff, but at the time it was like super sick. And like, I set up my visit, and I enrolled in the business program, and I loved it. I ate the shit up. It was like a complete flip of everything that college was before. So it was like now I was at this school that I absolutely loved, and I was going for something that I was passionate about. It was entertainment and media business with management, and that's like a fancy way to say like managing artists and like record labels and fucking starting like any kind of entertainment company you want. Like it was like the business side of music, and I was always good with business growing up, and so then like adding the music in there, it was like this is gonna work. So it's like I went and fucking balls to the wall, like took extra classes, like finished a 1.5-year program in like a year flat, graduated like with flying colors, straight A's. It was tight as tits, like right, perfect, right? And in that time, like to answer your original question, sorry to take you on that journey, but in that journey, like as I came home from UCM, it was like in between the time of starting school, right then in those first couple weeks, I had like I was just sitting on my bed, right, and I just see like a YouTube ad come up, and I'm just like watching some bullshit video, and you know what? Thank God that we have no fucking privacy, right? Because now there's like tailored ads, right. So it's like you're gonna get ads for like whatever you like you're not gonna get ads for some fucking cat food anymore, and that's sick because I don't give a fuck. But like, anyways, so like I got an ad for like who knows what I searched to get this ad, but I'm glad I did because I got an ad for Dolby Atmos, and what that was and is the world premiere of immersive audio. We had mono, and so it was like we went from mono to stereo to surround sound. And so like each of those leaps were like, oh my God, the humanity, right? So it's like that's the new industry standard. But now we have what's called immersive audio, and I became aware of this through a YouTube ad. And just for some like video that was probably some nonsense that was completely unrelated. But I saw the ad for this website, and it had just like a CGI animated head with like a bubble over it talking about like 3D sound and like no axis of sound, and I'm like, well, that sounds trippy. and so I clicked on it, and it took me to the site, and it was like the future of audio, and I was like, well, that sounds tight. And so it was just like really serendipitous with like the timing and being in this school. And like I'll be honest, like whenever we were at UCM, I mentioned kind of like the personal difference or like how that shit went down and was sour, like and I mentioned kind of how we might have had some experiences with some substances that might have led to some crazy experiences. Basically, like the first idea for 3D or for like being immersed in like audio and visuals, it actually really did come from one of those experiences that I'm not going to elaborate on too much, but it was, let's say spiritual. So it's like that's kind of where the original vision came from, but then it's like over time, serendipitously, like it wasn't even an idea at first. It was just like a vision, if you will, like something that was projected or like experienced through inebriation, quite blank. But then as time came on, the idea kind of rooted through the serendipitous events that occurred, being the Dolby Atmos ad on YouTube and finding out about Dolby Atmos. And then moving forward from there, it was just kind of grew once we realized that not only did the technology exist to make 3D audio, but that also in a serendipitous way, the 3D visual aspect kind of just fell into our lap too. And we're not going to really talk about that too much. That's kind of our secret sauce. But we are very excited and very confident that we are going to be able to execute that for you guys.
Okay, cool. That wraps up the idea. How you were talking about with Rob here that he went to EI and like gave you the hookup.
Yeah.
How'd the whole membership happen?
Yeah, well, I actually still go there now, and I actually went there when I was about 12 and did a little beat making course. My mom saw it on the news. They said that Nelly was making a school, and they just so happened to have a youth beat making program, and I didn't do anything except fucking build Legos all day. So my mom was like, yo, do you want to learn how to make those like hip hop things? And I was like, fuck yeah. And then the guy at EI, he's actually still there. Or wait, no. He actually just left, which is very sad. But
Rip.
Wishmaster Beats, you might have heard some of his stuff. He made a Lonely Island song, I'm on a Boat, and he pretty much started the whole online beat leasing business, pretty much. And so I learned from him, and ever since then, I was producing music, and I just always said I wanted to go to a school where I could do this, because literally the first day, like when I was like 12 or whatever, when my mom came to pick me up, I literally said, if this was school every day, I would want to go to school. So I graduate high school, and I finally convinced my parents to let me go back. And yeah, I convinced Ethan to go before me because he was graduated way before I was. So I started in January, and then he graduated in May. So he did start before me because, like he said, he is a couple years older than I am. But yeah, I mean that's the story of how I pretty much learned of VI and how I got Ethan there and like how I know about it pretty much.
So that's how you met him? How'd you?
Yeah. So I didn't actually meet him through EI. I actually met him in high school. So about sophomore year, I was doing a little vaping. And
Electronic cigarettes.
Yes, electronic cigarettes. Yeah, I was smoking. Just kidding. It's not smoking. It's vaping. But I was vaping electronic cigarettes because it was really popular back then, and I just so happened to need an e-cig charger, and I couldn't get one because everybody I knew was underage, and I was like, fuck, how do I get an e-cig charger? And my buddy AJ, he tells me, yo, I know this kid who works at a vape shop, and he goes to the school. And I was like, wait, what the fuck? So a high schooler working at a vape shop. That is fucking lit, dude. A 16-year-old working at a vape shop. Now this is actually prior before the whole like FDA shit. So he was grandfathered in. Technically he was grandfathered in.
This was when you could do this shit.
Yeah. This is when you could actually do this shit.
Like there was no law at the time, so like basically I was like, okay, well, it's like okay. I was really into vapes, right? Like freshman year, we find out like I see this kid in the bathroom and he's got this. It looks like a cigarette.
No. So I needed a charger. And then AJ hit me up, and then he texted me. He was like, "Yo, this guy in my study hall. He works at a vape shop, and he can get you a charger." And then I fucking texted you, and then I shit you not, you were fucking giving me advice about how to, like, pretty much make my parents let me vape. Like, the very first day I met you. And then after that day, you just so happened to have work. So I literally went there, got the charger. You gave me a discount because you're a G. I'm pretty sure that's how it happened.
Yeah, no, that is pretty much what happened. I do want to elaborate because like it's like man's got like we gotta like it sucks, but we have to pay respect to e-cigs like I do because it's like that was my humble beginnings, and it wasn't so humble. But point being, like when freshman year, like found out about vapes and like bathroom boys like talking. I found out like they had these analogs, right? And it was like the tip glows pink and fucking put out like a tiny bit of vapor that tasted like carpet and nicotine. It was horrible, but it was badass because like I just saw the potential value. It's like, okay, so like you're smoking without smoking, right? So it's like that's fucking tight. So anyways, I became infatuated. Like gotta have a vape, man, because it's like if I can smoke and not die, whoo, like I'm on that. Yeah, so here we go. So my brother is 18, I'm a freshman. And so after a few days of convincing, like, yeah, dude, come on now. We're gonna go to the gas station, we're gonna get these vapes. Dude, I'm an entrepreneur. Okay, so like, yeah, I convinced my brother to buy these vapes at the gas station, and they're disposables, like 500 puffs. They're Square brand. They're like $8, and I've always been an entrepreneur, right? So like before selling vapes at school, I sold Zippos at school. Before I sold Zippos at school, I sold energy drinks at school. Before I sold energy drinks at school, I think that might have been it. So like middle school, I started my hustle like 6th grade, middle school, selling energy drinks out of my locker. I'd get them in the morning with my brother, and then he would like, load up my backpack. I'd give him the money plus like $5 and sell them to kids at school for like $5, and they only costed me like $1.80, but their parents wouldn't buy them for them. So like early on entrepreneur, but then that escalated into Zippos, and now we're back to e-cigs. So like shout out to them hoes because I was infatuated and had to be in it, had to do it. So like I'm like, if I could just get a job at a vape shop, like, I mean, I was into it, and so was my buddy Rob, and that's how we did meet. But anyways, like, I got a job at a vape shop at 16 because there was no laws at the time. This was like 2005, Fucking A.
Like 12,
Hang on,
13.
I'm 21. I was 16. 5 years
13,
ago. So it was like 2013. No, it was 2013. These were the good old days. Like, there was no laws at the time. I'm talking people like nowadays you buy Jewel Pods or like a glass bottle sealed with childproof. LOL, man. You want to know what it used to be for a long good time? Like, you walk into the store, right? There's a gajillion bottles on the wall. They're like ketchup bottles, but clear, see-through, right? But that's what it is. It's just a condiments jar, right? And it has like a plastic cap on the top, like the ones that go over, like Jewel Pods, like literally, like it's like a little like rubber cappy over the top.
Yeah.
And like everyone had a name on it, and that was the flavor of concentrate. And then other than that, we would just have like the nicotine that was diluted with PG or VG, which was the oil. But we would mix that shit up by hand in front of the customers. And like, don't get me wrong, I made some delicious juice. But like,
Oh, yeah.
it like that shit should have never been able. Like looking back, that shit should have never been able to happen. Like that was, dude, one slip of the hand, you could fucking kill somebody.
Yeah,
like with the
literally.
nicotine, no, even being diluted. Like it is no bullshit, and it's hilarious that like it happened. Like it was so lax. Like I don't think like people, our parents talk about like, oh, those were the days it was so lax back then. I never thought I saw anything like that until you look back and like realize that yeah, like vapes used to be literally a bunch of plastic bottles with literally underage kids getting to whip them up. But how I got the job, and then we'll get back on par, but with the story. But how I got the job was like, I went to this vape shop every day, and you know they don't call him a confidence man or a con man for nothing. It's confidence is the the con. That's where it comes from. And I was just so confident and so educated that I would walk into these stores and just sit there and like loiter. Literally, I was fucking loitering. Sit there and like vape, and then some customer would have a problem that the employee couldn't answer, and I'd sit there and answer it for her and fix it, and then he'd be like, "Damn, dude, thanks." And so like the owner started taking notice of that, and he's like called me as like his little genius or whatever. And this guy was crooked and shady as fuck, thank God, because it helped me out at the time too. Like, I got the job. But anyways, like I'm 16, and like I tell, he's like, dude, you can work here. And I was like, yeah, I'll let you know. I had the offer. He thought I was 18. Like, I played it off as I was 18. And then finally, when, he's like, yeah, you got the job. But what's up, Ethan? You got to work here. And I'm like, okay, dude, I'm 16. And, I thought he was going to get pissed and tell me to never come back. He said, we can keep it quiet. I'm like, okay, dude, we're good. And what happened was there was no law at the time. And honestly, dude, we sold to I hate to, statute of limitations, we're good, but we sold to so many fucking minors, man. He didn't give a flying fuck. 60% of his business, I shouldn't say, maybe 40, but it was a lot, maybe 60. Some months it might have been 60. Like there was, I wasn't helping it because that's how I met.
Hand if you were a customer.
But that's
Oh, yeah.
okay. That's how we're gonna
yeah.
transition back now. And like I wasn't helping those statistics because people like Rob at school would hit me up, and I'm in high school, fucking sophomore in high school. I was a year old for my class, so it didn't, that didn't help either with me being a hellraiser. But anyways, yeah, Rob and other kids would hit me up and come hang out there, and that is how I met Rob. He was the awkward kid coming in the vape shop, being super polite and kind of just, sitting and not necessarily causing a ruckus, but I always thought he was awesome just because like he was a super duper loyal dude and was always super educated, and he wouldn't say anything until you asked, and then it was like, well, damn, you know your shit. So that was how we met, and we became friends over e-cigs like 5 years ago, and that relationship has changed greatly. But I'll pass it back to him and see if I'm forgetting anything.
Yeah, no, I mean,
I really
As
don't.
he vapes,
Yeah.
I do not
As
vape.
I'm vaping.
I do not vape anymore. Some other things that we'll talk later, but anyways, Rob is still
Oh yeah.
Vape Nation.
Oh yeah, Vape Nation. Yeah, I mean that's pretty much how it all started. How me and Ethan, how Ethan and I met. Now, Matthias, I actually, when did we meet? We met about like three years ago or something.
Yeah.
And I literally remember you meeting you at a Steak and Shake, and then getting your Snapchat. I never talked to you like ever after that. But then I saw your Snapchat story, and I saw you were at a place called Cementland, and I knew what this place was, and I always wanted to fucking go there. Cementland is pretty much just an old, rundown adult playground. It's owned by some lady who actually owns the City Museum here in St. Louis. The owner died building it, so they just completely shut it down. But everybody goes there. It's a super cool spot to get pictures and shit.
It's frowned upon though.
I mean, yeah, like it's frowned upon
If you
because
get a
you
ticket,
are.
that's
yeah.
the price of admission if you get
Yeah,
a ticket.
yeah.
Otherwise, it's free.
Yeah, which we did get a ticket, but we can get into that in a little bit. But yeah, I mean, I saw he was at Cementland, and I was like, I swiped up, and I was like, yo, I want to fucking go. And then he literally said, yo, I'm going tomorrow. So I responded with, okay, let me go. And I hit up my friend Seth, and we carpooled, and we met up at Matthias's house.
That is riveting.
And yeah, and yeah, we just went, and we got there, got some really dope pics. It was like, honestly,
So you were snapping them pics way back.
dude, way back. But I mean, it's an adult playground. It is dangerous. I mean, you do got to be careful.
Especially if you're listening to EDM and vaping.
Yeah, especially if you're listening. Yeah. If you listen to EDM and vape, then you really need to be careful.
Especially 5 years ago. That's
Yeah.
Now it's
5
kind
years
of
ago.
mainstream.
Oh, yeah, 5 years ago.
2 years.
All these
Oh, yeah,
Chads
2
and
years
Brads are
ago.
giving us a
Oh,
bad
yeah,
name.
no.
We got
Oh, yeah, no,
some-
that actually was like
some
2 years
OGs
ago.
out here, you know.
But yeah, I mean, back to what I was saying. We went to Cementland, and then after that day, we literally just started hanging out. And after that, for some reason, I invited Austin to hang out, which Austin, the podcast director, we've been friends literally
Day
for as long.
one.
Yeah, day one, literally, like before fucking kindergarten, like
Yeah.
fucking like preschool type shit.
You guys were fucking in preschool?
So.
You can't tell me about that, man.
So yeah, and then me, Austin, Matthias, and our other buddy Nathan just start hanging out a shit ton, and then Matthias wants to come over to Ethan's. He's been to the vape shop a couple
boy.
times.
Oh, boy.
He's been to the vape shop a couple times, and he's just like, "Yo, let me come to fucking Ethan's."
Some
He's
impression.
so fucking. Just let me come over to Ethan's. Every time you snap me, like.
It looks tight.
You guys are fucking lit. Yeah, the first time he came over wasn't the best first impression, not gonna lie. That night, we actually got home from a fucking house party that was busted, and it was terrible. Like,
it was so bad.
Like, it was honestly, like, the worst situation that, like, I've had to deal with,
A
like,
for
with that
effort.
shit. And, like,
A for effort. You drove
It was
you drove from the city to
yeah, from, like, in the middle of St. Peter's, so, like, going through all the suburban shit, then to 70, then all the way down, all the way fucking to your house.
So you were party hopping at like 16.
Oh yeah, fucking
Booze
party
and car.
hopping. So we get to Ethan's house, and we start partying, and we're outside sitting by the bonfire. And Matthias is just sitting there, hunched over. We're like, yo, Matthias, like, what the fuck's up?
How do you think it went, Matthias?
Yeah, how do you think that?
Give us your recollection of
Yeah, that might be a little
evening.
better.
I don't
better
remember
thing.
that evening.
Oh yeah, he doesn't remember that.
Okay, well
evening.
then
All right,
we'll
so
tell-
I'll
we'll
just
tell you.
Let me go back.
We'll tell you what
Go back.
actually
Okay.
happened then. If you don't,
yeah.
Oh, let me
Yeah,
quote it.
so pretty much like, I mean, I saw Matthias hunched over, and yeah, like we were all like, "Yo, what the fuck's up, Matthias?" Well, actually, he can probably explain it a little better.
Yeah, then
From
I
his
fucking
perspective.
threw up.
Yeah, yeah, he pretty much just threw up.
Projectile vomit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
projectile vomited.
I got you. House rules. I got you. So here's the recollection of the evening for in Ethan's book. So, anyways, Matthias comes over. I've never met the guy. He looks like
That's not true. That's not
Okay,
true.
I've met him at the vape shop
Yeah,
a couple
vape shop.
times. As you can see, tried and true, that's going to come up a lot because we're going to tell you the truth as much as we can and not get ourselves in legal trouble. But anyways, yeah, no, I met him a couple times at the vape shop, and the vaping thing is a reoccurring theme. But nonetheless, I digress. He begged Rob to come over. I shouldn't say begged. He asked Rob to come over. I didn't know him that well. I had some reservations, if I believe. But anyways, he came over. We give everybody a chance, first impressions. And oh boy, did he make one. he did. And so he came over. They had came from a party prior to that it got busted. I think they were doing a little drinking before that. For his pride, we'll say he was. But anyways, a bottle came out. Some, a little weed came out, maybe, per se, allegedly.
Allegedly.
And so he took like 2 or 3 pulls off the bottle, like pretty proud of it. he was showing off, and I wasn't quite sure why, because like we don't really like try to prove anything to anyone. But nonetheless, he slammed a pretty good amount of booze and hit the joint pretty hard, and then proceeded to put his head in his lap, and then kind of just start throwing up between his legs like a few times, and it was pretty fucking hilarious because I had met the dude like not pretty times prior to that.
I was geeking out.
Oh yeah, that was hilarious.
Yeah, good times. So yeah, that was the first time, and I didn't see him for like years after that. But then like Rob and I, like we talked about how like kind of Rob and I like like went to EI together and all that, and obviously we've been friends that whole time. And so like as like the 3D idea developed, like he knew a lot more about music than I did, so I always confided in him and always would be quick to let him know like what my vision was, because it was always very apparent that like I was the business and like he was creative. So then like that kind of eventually once like I was confiding all that in him, and we were kind of like had this idea to create this concert experience. We said, well fuck dude, the only thing we need is like a videographer. And then lo and behold, our buddy Matthias, he comes back, but instead of trying to party so hard that he throws up in my backyard, he's like, what do you guys need help with? And I was like, well, we need a videographer. And he's like, dude, I just sold my camera, but like I can get another one, dude. Yeah. I can get another one. And I shit you not, he sold like I don't know what he sold, but like a week later, the dude had the best camera on the fucking market. And I was like, bro, you are our guy. You are fucking, you're in. You're literally in. And that was it. He was in. And we were to 3. Matthias originally came over and kind of made a fool of himself. But then he came and filled the gap like a fucking badass out of hell, and like literally like performed above and beyond. And like he sold, I don't know what he sold, but he got the best fucking camera on the market and within like a week. And we were like, you're our fucking guy. And before that, like it was just like a mutual friend that he came over one time and barfed.
Yep, that actually describes it on Ethan's side of things. So yeah, I did throw up. I did just come over and throw up in Ethan's backyard as a first impression.
Yeah,
not my moment to shine, but
it was
I hold on to that dearly. Yeah, that was my second semester of junior year, and then some years went on. I think 2. Yeah, 2 years. 2 years went on, and then I saw Ethan's Snapchat story, and I was like, "Yo, what can I do? Like, how can I help you?" And I basically just talked myself up to him, and then I was like...
Yeah, he had that elevator pitch ready.
I did have that elevator pitch ready to go. I was like, I was sitting there, I was literally laying in bed. I was like, what am I doing? What am I going to do? Well, I have a
Whitest
camera.
kids you know.
So yeah, that's how Rob and Matthias came in the group. We need to mention anybody else?
Yeah, so Matthew Swan, our visual engineer, he's not here tonight, family stuff, but he will be here next week. We'll let him kind of catch up and tell you a little bit more as to what his daily life is looking like and what it's like to be the visual engineer for 3D, as well as not designer. But yeah, we'll let him tell that. He's not quite here. Honorable mentions, we got to definitely be sure to shout out our artists for graphic designs. That would be at Cat in the Void. That's Tim Guffey. He's a really talented graphic design artist. Again, that's at Cat in the Void on like Instagram. You can hit him up. Really talented dude. He makes all of our cover art for now. I don't say for now as if that's going to change. It's just like thus far, like he's done my mixes and stuff like that, and he's our artist that we use for graphic designs. Really talented guy, super cool guy. Really brilliant mind on that guy. A pleasure working with him always. I will also say that he did make our logos for Not Designer as well as 3D. And Perennial, our record label, but we'll talk way more about that later. So yeah, he's our guy for graphic designs. I also want to shout out our website as well as social media marketing. That would be Jordan Boehner. He's our mans for all the online stuff, doing a great job, killing it over there. He's working on building our 3D site right now. We're going to be launching that really soon. Real excited about that. The Not Designer site's already up at not-designer.com. You can go there and get the latest news for releases, stuff like that. And so, yeah, those are the other people that are not here, but that we do work with. They might be on the show a little bit. So, yeah.
For sure. So what's good with Not Designer?
So Not Designer, that's our clothing company. It's appropriately priced apparel, designer-level quality without the high cost. That's the idea and what we're striving to do. And it came to be right in the midst of 3D as well. And you think like you're crazy for doing that right when you're having this idea for 3D. And we are, and will continue to be, but it's something that we're really passionate about, and it keeps us up at night. So we're going to try to tackle it. And, you know, like through that journey, we have almost secured our public launch. And we are very excited to say that in the next few months, it is looking like we will have a product available for you to purchase finally after this year that it's been. However, though, yes, we are very excited. We have our project proposal and are looking to go into our first round of production with that. We'll keep you tuned on that. Again, the website is not-designer.com. You can go on there and put in your email, stay up on future releases. And yeah, it's been a journey, but it's looking very promising with that. And again, the idea is just to have designer level quality without the high cost, clout without the cost.
Okay, so that pretty much wraps it up here. We're signing off here with my boy Matthias.
Peace.
Signing off with my boy Robert.
What's up?
And we got my boy Ethan here.
What's good?
All right, we're out.